So, Adam, one thing that we're not talking about enough as Georgia football fans.
What's that, Clark?
We're bowl eligible.
Bowl eligible. I mean, who doesn't want the chance to go to Birmingham, Shreveport, Memphis? Just every team's dream.
Beautiful spots on the map.
I'll tell you who's not bowl eligible.
Who's that?
Clemson.
Welcome, everybody, to Row 60, a Georgia football podcast. My name is Clark Gaines. Joining me, as always, Adam Thornton, and this is show number 8. The Dogs are 6-0, number 1 in
Number
the nation.
1, Clark.
Golly.
Let's go.
Adam, I mean, what are you feeling in this moment?
Just pure adrenaline.
Yeah.
Rush, just a high.
Okay.
I mean, the first time that Georgia's been ranked number 1 in the AP poll now. I mean, there's they were in the college football selection committee in 17. And we're preseason ranked number 1 in 08, but this is the first time the actual coaches poll that they're number 1 since 1982, since Herschel Walker was running the ball in Athens, and special times happened when number 34 was in Athens, and boy, it's trending that way. Yeah, I mean, it's trending that way. This area of Georgia football right now is just,
oh, man,
we're blessed.
We are. We're a blessed fan base, and we need to just bask in this glory, this just awesomeness that is Georgia football.
Everybody needs to take a minute and just see it. If you're in the car, if you're with your loved ones, just sit and just sit there and think about it. Reflect that Georgia football. And I know at the end, the little number 1 by Georgia's name needs to be at the end of the season, in mid-January.
Yes.
That's what the ultimate goal is, obviously. But just take a minute right now, Clark, to just sit there and think, man, this Georgia football team's the number 1 team in college football out of 119 or so teams out there.
Yeah.
In FBS football level.
It's awesome. It's a good feeling. It just makes you smile.
Oh, it does.
it makes you smile.
It just makes you just sit there and just thank the Lord right now. Everybody just bow their head and thank the Lord that you're a Georgia Bulldog.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, man, we've got a lot to talk about in this show, including the Auburn game, offense, defense, and special teams per usual. Also coming up, Kentucky, game day, SEC Nation, and Adam, you went like an octave higher or key. I don't know.
I've done that jingle so much, but I don't know. My voice just went. Yeah, in the middle there, I did get a little bit high on that. Let's try it again. All right. Yeah. There we go. That was good. That was good.
Good execution there. Good recovery. There we go, man. So talking about Kentucky, man, and just the whole college football landscape. We're going to dive a little bit into that later on.
Yes.
And then also our pick'ems at the end, and then score predictions. So
yes, sir. Stick
around. You're not going to want to miss this episode. We thank you for joining us. Adam, let's talk about Auburn. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Auburn, just what was the game day atmosphere? Because I didn't get to go. I had COVID. It was awful.
Well, Clark, first off, let's just, everybody in the Row 60 fam, we're going to clap for you. Thankful that you're out of quarantine.
Yes.
That you're good, that you hit COVID in the mouth, you popped it in the mouth, and you recovered and you're here back with us. It's mid-season. Everybody's banged up. Georgia football team's banged up. The fans are banged up. Everybody's just pouring out their hearts, their emotions.
Yes.
It's just a grind right now. Everybody's trying to get that bye week, and kind of recuperate a little bit, fans and team alike. So we're glad you're with us.
Well,
back good to go. You know, I mean, Bulldog Nation needs you at 100% health.
Yeah.
So Opelika, always good to beat Auburn. I hate Auburn. I really do. And I never get tired of seeing Georgia win there, see them win there a lot. I mean, boy, that's 14 out of the last 17 times we played them that Georgia's won. The game day atmosphere, I mean, it started out loud, but it got quiet. So Georgia fan ratio, that you had your section in the lower bowl that traditionally you have, and then on each side of the upper level, you had, traditionally, a good show out of red and black. Okay. Good show out of red and black. It was great.
Let me ask you this. How did it compare to our game day atmosphere versus Arkansas? How much louder were we than?
Oh, Georgia was definitely loud. Okay. Definitely loud. But the one thing I feel like you get shorted of really knowing is when you're in the upper level, is you're above the bowl.
Right.
Kind of, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you're above the sound, and it sounds loud, but you don't know how truly. But I've been there before, and it's been a whole lot louder than it was. Honestly, I think they kind of knew what was coming.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, at the beginning of the game, they showed up and were loud, and it was a good challenge for our guys, you know, to have to face that. So, all around perfect. You couldn't ask for better.
Yeah.
Couldn't ask for better.
Well, good. Let me ask you this, Adam. Give us our weekly concession stands report. How was the hot dog?
All right. Yeah, Clark. I mean, I didn't eat lunch to prepare myself for this segment to be able to do this.
Oh, okay.
I didn't eat the Chick-fil-A or go to the food trucks outside the stadium because I said I'm going to get some popcorn and I'm going to get my hot dog, you know, to do my report. And the hot dog was decent. You know, it was a good dog. It was, I would say that the bread was really good. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the bun in the sense of that it was probably, I think it was a little toasted.
Oh,
so that was a good little touch. A good little touch. A little crunch there. So it was good. I liked it for my dog. And it was cooked perfect. So good hot dog at the park.
Good.
The stadium. So
all right, well, give me a 1 out of 10 rating with 10 being the best. How was Auburn's hot dog?
It was a 7.
All right.
6.8, maybe, if you want to go off that scale. You can round it up to a 7. I think I'll be honest, Vanderbilt's still sitting. I'll be honest, 10 out of 10.
Good gosh.
That's how much of an impression that Vanderbilt hot dog. I did not go back and get 2 at Opelika. That's why that's at Auburn. So like I did at Vandy.
Okay,
but still respectable. It was respectable.
How was the popcorn? Was it rubber?
Popcorn was good. No, it was good. It was good. It was good. You got some good butter on it and everything. So it was good.
Good. Well, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear. But hey, I tell you, maybe these weekly concession stands reports are helping these opposing teams because I could, you can only imagine how many people out there are truly listening to us. I mean, just millions.
I'm open to become a consultant for ballpark or stadium concessions.
That is a brilliant idea. Honestly.
To just be a consultant, they lay out what their menu is. I test every single one of them, and then tell you where you can improve what the fan wants. At that
what the fan
because
wants.
Every fan when they go into these stadiums has a little bit of a nerve in their stomach, so they're not going to eat a bunch, but they want something fulfilling because they're probably stress eating because of the nerves and stuff. You know, they're stress eating, but they're not wanting to just like an enjoyable meal. You know, it's kind of hard to explain, but you get what I'm saying. There's a twist in your stomach, but you still want to eat out of some stress. You know, so.
Interesting.
Yes, sir.
Well, good concession stands report there. Man, I tell you, a very good game in general. Auburn, they, you look at this rivalry, and we mentioned this last podcast, but it is not much of a rivalry, people. We have won 14 out of the last 17, as you mentioned, Adam. The average margin of victory in those 14 wins is 18 points. So it's not like the Dogs are just squeaking out these wins against Auburn. We're going in and beating them by 2 touchdowns plus.
Right. I tell you, it's amazing. It is amazing. When you look at the schedule, and then look at the past 6 games and the scores, man, it's amazing.
We're playing some good football.
Hell yeah. Just the lopsided scores are just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Auburn hasn't won 10-plus games in consecutive seasons since 1988 and 1989. Now, here's the beautiful thing about it, Adam. I hear so many Auburn fans, they talk, and really any fan in general, if you're not a Georgia football fan, they'll talk about how Georgia, 1980, they love to bring up that year.
They do, don't
But the funniest thing is these teams aren't relevant. They aren't relevant right now.
Well, with Auburn's case, man, is they won 1-57, I believe, and then they won in 2010. But I'll go to my grave thinking that was that wasn't right. That was cheating.
Yeah, it was.
Cam Newton. I mean, but of course, count that. But you're right, Clark. I mean, outside of 2010 and then that run in 2013 where they had some voodoo stuff going on there against Georgia and Alabama. Yeah. So somebody sold their soul. I don't know who, but somebody did that particular season and still didn't get a national championship out of it. So, but you're right. That is an interesting fact there.
And listen to this one too. I found this somewhere. Kirby has won 10 of the last 11 games against Auburn, Florida, and Tennessee.
Wow.
And I don't know about y'all, but those are 3 of my most hated teams right now.
Absolutely.
I can't stand any one of those.
Absolutely. And that one lone loss was last year in the COVID season in Florida.
Right.
So, I mean, you take a Georgia fan who lives in the 1990s, who lived through that era, and when Auburn had some good teams, obviously Tennessee and Florida won national championships during that decade, and you say, hey, we're going to win 10 out of 11 against these 3 combined. I mean, God, sign me up every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unreal where this program is. just the trajectory of it and honestly where it's been.
Yeah.
When you think of that, I mean, it's great. That's great. This is a special era, and all it needs to be is just capped off with a national championship.
Yeah.
And then when that happens, I think the floodgates open up even more. So, man.
You're right. You're dead on with that. I think Kirby has got this program going in the right direction.
Yes, sir.
Adam, let's talk offense here. Stetson Bennett.
Yes, sir.
Man, there's been a lot of talk, and I know you've heard it as much as I have, how Stetson is just a game manager. But I think when he proved the other day that he is more than that, he's a playmaker. I know that sounds crazy, talking about at one point a backup quarterback.
Absolutely.
But man, he has really added a new element to this offense, I think.
Yep.
And it's going to be interesting to see what happens when JT is back and healthy. What do you think, Adam?
I think it will, Clark. We're blessed to have him. We're blessed to have two quarterbacks of JT Daniels and Stetson Bennett's caliber, but Stetson's leadership and his just poise and confidence out on the field, and it's just a swagger, if you will, that it's awesome. It's awesome to see, and fortunate to have him as the so-called number 2 guy on the depth chart. And I still think it's JT's team when he comes back and he is healthy, ready to go.
Yeah.
But having Stetson, man, you can't beat that. Having a guy like that who you feel just as confident as number 1 guy can come in there, in a game like Auburn or so and win. And he seems like, he's getting better at it. And I think he does such a good job too, is when he is actually the guy and he knows he's getting the start. That's when he comes out there and he looks just a field general, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he outplayed Bo Nix.
Yeah, he did. I thought I saw something the other day. He has a higher QBR than Matt Corral, Bo Nix.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that
I saw
is.
that. And then JT was 3. Yeah. Wasn't he 3 or 4? Yeah, 4. And then it was Corral, or wasn't it? Yeah. But yeah, he had Stetson has the highest QBR in the SEC.
Or at one point. I don't know how
I think that was last week.
It would carry over to this week.
Yeah, it probably would after his performance. And I mean, he absolutely, I think it would carry, and he'd still be number 1 after this past week. Just kind of thinking in my head there. Yeah, I tell you, but he is, and everybody's can we win a national championship? Stetson Bennett, quarterback. Yeah. I'll say this absolutely. I really do think you can. After seeing college football this way and seeing how he just keeps getting better too each game, I think.
Yeah,
I do think that you can win with Stetson Bennett. But my opinion, when JT Daniels comes back, JT's not going to lose his job just because he's been hurt. I think you'll still see JT, but not to take anything away from Stetson. It's a good problem to have that you have 2 quarterbacks who can absolutely take you where you want to go as a football team.
Yeah. Well, and you look at a guy like Jake Coker from Alabama. You remember him?
Oh,
I mean, the guy is not a household name, and I don't think Stetson necessarily does either. Stetson needs to go in and just make the plays that we need him to make. And I don't think that's asking a lot of him. I feel like has handled pressure very well in his entire career. And he's not perfect by any means, but you're right, Adam. Having him on our football team is a good thing.
Well, I don't think Stetson's going to lose you a game, Clark. Where he's at now, the maturity he has, and the decision making with the football. Because I mean, really, honestly, we thought the only way we were going to lose Saturday, that Georgia was going to lose, was if we gave them cheap points.
Yeah.
If we gave them the ball, and good field position for them to score, or if a pick six, scooping scores, anything like that, giving them cheap points that they don't earn, necessarily speaking. And they didn't get none of that.
No.
They didn't get none of that Saturday. So I think when you have a guy like that who's not just going to go out there and put your defense in bad spots consistently or throw many picks, smart with the football.
Yeah.
And a leader and knows where people should line up, can check into the right plays, reads defense as well. Like Stetson is a good veteran guy like that. That's valuable for a team to keep progressing.
Yeah, he had, let's see, he went 14 of 20. Wow. Very good completion percentage there with 231 yards. And 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's on the road against a pretty decent Auburn defense right there. So I think that just really says a lot about him and his poise, like you were talking about. Yeah. And Adam, too, another thing that I just love watching is a good quarterback run. I wish we would do more of it at the University of Georgia, but it's nice to see that we finally pull the ball in a true read option play and pick up yards. He picked up 30-something yards, if I If I'm,
oh yeah, he
somewhere around
absolutely
that.
did, absolutely, and then Monken dialed it up at the right times too, where everybody in the stadium probably thought he was going to hand the ball off to Zeus, Cook, or whoever might have been, and the outside was open. He just squirted off.
Yeah,
and beautiful design and good athleticism by Stetson to pick up some yards with his legs.
Absolutely. Threw the deep ball, got it going. Lad McConkey. My gosh. Yep. Lad McConkey's my hero. Shout out to Logan Waldrop. Didn't he say?
Yeah, Logan called that he was going to be, he had some intel there that he thought that old Lad McConkey was going to be a guy to watch out for. So, so absolutely.
I may get a jersey. I may order an 84 jersey from China and get it. Oh, man.
He's so fun to watch, man. And, he's a guy that reminds me of Hunter Renfro at Clemson, who's going to make clutch catches. And it seems like that's where his career is trending towards, is to be that kind of guy that, is going to be somebody who could catch the ball first and foremost, but then get positive yardage and make stuff out of it when he gets a hold of the football in open space too. So great route runner, man, just a pure route runner. I feel like too, and just good hands. And man, a lot of people, and we've said this, a lot of people in the Georgia Nation owe him an apology for what they thought, because he didn't have the highest offers coming out. I think he had offers like Kennesaw State, like schools like that, honest to gosh. And Kirby took a chance on him, and he got some ridicule for it.
Yeah.
And
look what he's done.
Everybody's eating crow now with it.
And now he was a 3-star, is that right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just goes to show how well Kirby can develop some of these guys. Yes. Jordan Davis being another one, another 3-star. I mean, just unreal what we have been able to do.
That's right.
Developing some of these guys. So we need to give him a nickname, McConkey. Is there one? I
don't know. I don't know one yet.
Like White Lightning or White Rice or something.
Yeah, I did hear White Rice. Yes. I think I did hear White Rice. So. Oh, man. Good old lad. It's awesome.
Yeah. He's a fun player. He's so quick. I think I read somewhere on Twitter that he clocked at maybe 21 miles per hour on the GPS in the back of his shoulder pads there.
Yes.
I mean, that's so
unreal.
Quick. That is, he's quick. And that's a good thing to have on our football team. We need good, fast receivers who can blow by the secondary and that safety. And he did a couple times the other day. Adam, Jamari Sawyer went down, but Broderick Jones stepped in. How do you think the line did in general?
The line did great. You have to give, we've been critical of the offensive line. About every show, but Clark, how do you feel? Because I think they did wonderful. And I think they're finally, I think they're really getting it going. Yeah. And I think the second half of the season, we're going to see an even more stronger running game and some bigger holes opened up and some longer runs. But especially the second half. They just imposed their will on them boys. They didn't want, Auburn's defensive line didn't want no part of them in the second half of that football game, Clark. So I think they're getting there. And that goes back to recruiting, Clark. The name of the game is to build depth and the next man up mentality. When something unfortunate does happen to one of the guys out there, you have somebody you could plug in and still come out there and not see a significant just decrease in the talent or so there in the play. So having a guy like Broderick Jones did a great job. That's a hard ask for somebody. Jones is a freshman out there that come out there in a hostile environment in a road game. The first time he's been somewhere that it's a hostile environment like that and step in and play like he did. Yeah. Amazing. So
I think the whole offensive line played well. We protected Stetson. And I also read this. We are tied for 5th in the nation for least amount of sacks given up the season. We did give up one against Auburn. But, man, really, when you look at that and you look at the teams we have played, and albeit they're not all great defensive lines. Vanderbilt is not a great defensive line, but Clemson. You've played arguably one of the best defensive fronts in the nation in Clemson, and, you've played 6 games and you've only given up 3 sacks. Right. That's impressive. Oh, it is. So, and like you said, Adam, the offensive line really did crank it up in the second half. I think the run game was, it was on the money in the second half. And we moved the ball at will. So
we did. We've talked about imposing your will. And even, and Auburn knew, everybody and their brother knew in the stadium that, hey, Georgia's going to run the football right here. But it didn't stop them from just getting 4 or 5 yards pop.
Yeah. Wasn't there a drive towards the end of the game where we literally only ran the ball?
Oh, yeah.
And we scored.
Several, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Just ungodly. I love it. I love watching that kind of old school ball being played. And Kirby.
That's what he's all about. You let your defense work and hold them, and then you just start gashing them. You're wearing them out, and you're sitting there and you're patient with just wearing them out. And as fans, we get frustrated. Why do you keep running up the center's tail like that and getting 1 or 2 yards of pop? Thinking like, God, bounce it outside or either throw the football, stuff like that. But then it comes to fruition. They get wore down, and then it's just bam, like that. It's clockwork. Defensive line getting just blown off the football.
Right.
And our guys are picking up 4 or 5 yards of pop like that. And,
that's the name of the game.
Well, yeah. The name of the game is winning the ball game, not style points, especially when you're in Georgia's position that all you got to do is win and you're there. Right. There's no need for style points when you're Georgia. So just win the game, keep guys healthy as you can. And how you do that is obviously you score more points. So, in a hostile environment like that, when you could get there and you could run the football and advance the ball, eat up time of possession, rest your defense, and eat time off the clock like that, that's what you want.
Yeah, especially on the road.
With that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man.
Adam, let's quickly talk about injuries. Let's just name some of the guys, and it's a long, lengthy list. But Jamari Sawyer, Jermaine Burton.
Yeah, Jermaine Burton, Jamari Sawyer. Of course, you have George Pickens that was out, obviously.
Amir
Speed's out. Christopher Smith's out now.
Yep. Arian
Smith's out. Just guys.
Don Blaylock.
Don Blaylock still hadn't made it back in yet.
Kiera's
hitting 100%. Darnell Washington, we got to see Big O get the ball, but is he 100% yet? JT Daniels, and the list just goes on and on and on of them. You got guys that who could be really big. I think there's 5 or 6 receivers that were hurt Saturday and the starting quarterback. And you go into Auburn, Alabama, a respectably good SEC opponent in their stadium, and you win by 24 points. That's unreal, Clark. That's unreal. When you score 34, that just shows, again, to the development and the recruiting. And it's all about depth. It's all about depth. It's because even when you don't have injuries, it's when you have guys who could rotate and stay fresh the longest, the team that can, and then impose your will like Georgia did in the football game. That's how you win championships. And that's something that separated this program in the past from the Alabamas and other championship programs is, you have your guys on your first team that can run with them for a while, but then you get to the second half of the football game and it starts to fade away.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
I just think it was a great offensive game plan all around. It looked a little shaky, and there's a lot of people out there on social media. I got my dose of social media on Saturday. I saw just so many comments being made about our offense in the first half. I'm just like, chill, people.
Everybody just needs to calm down.
Calm down. They know more. Look, Todd Monk and Kirby Smart, these guys know more football than any of us combined.
Yes.
So just chill out. Just trust the process. There was a process. The process was to get the ultimate game plan was to run the ball, wear down their defense, hold the ball in the second half. That's what we did. And like you said, it's not about style points. It's about winning the football game. Championship teams win. That's the key ingredient. There's no secret to it. There's no, cheat code. That's the way you win championships. You just win.
It's like we weren't going to be in a shootout with them. With this defense, there's nobody yet that we've had to get in a shootout with. Not saying that won't happen, because it very well could happen at some point this year. But right now, you don't have to. It's not like that this offense, that Auburn's offense putting up points just like that, and then we're just running the football trying to make sense. No, we were in control of the game from the beginning of the game, and that's how Kirby likes to win football games. And by gosh, you win 24 points, 34-10 in Auburn. Shoot,
I'll take it.
You can't complain about anything right now if you're a Georgia fan.
You really can't. Oh man. You definitely cannot complain, Adam, about our daggum defense. My goodness gracious.
I tell you, man.
It's just unreal. Where do we start? Let's start with this, Adam. And this is kind of getting a little bit of a head.
All right.
Bo Nix is a crybaby.
Did you hear the quote? I don't think we've talked about this yet.
No.
Did you see? You didn't see the quote where he talked about the refs?
I got it right here. Let me read it right quick, just in case anybody hasn't
everybody needs to hear the full thing. Go
Here
ahead.
goes Bo Nix post game talking about the second quarter. One of the last plays of that drive, they were about to score there in our red zone, and we held them, and we made a great defensive play. It was Latavius Brini.
Yeah,
right?
Latavius Brini. Yeah.
Just a heck of a play.
Great no call.
Yeah,
great no call.
Anyway, Bo Nix said that was a big play. 4th and 3 gives us a chance at the back of the end zone, and the guy completely grabs him. I thought it should have definitely been a pass interference. It's just stuff like that we don't ever get. That changes the game. Obviously, if that would have been them, they probably would have called it. But that's just part of the game and part of the rivalry. No, listen. That is what losers say. When you start blaming the refs about the outcome of the game, that is what a loser says.
You know what? He's just mad because he's 0-3 against Georgia as a starting quarterback at Auburn University.
Yep.
Dang right. No, that is ridiculous. That's childish. I mean, and Bo Nix, man, he would be, if he was Georgia's quarterback, it would drive me crazy with how he doesn't have the ability just to stand in the pocket and throw the football. Yeah. He gives up on plays way too early and starts to scramble around, do all that stuff. And I mean, when you do that, you'll hit sometimes. But boy, there was a couple times yesterday where he got rocked.
Yeah, 4 times. I believe.
And there's a couple of times where he barely got enough oomph on the ball to get it out of bounds for our guys could, when he's throwing it away, and if he didn't have the juice he did have on it, would have fell right into some of our secondary hands. But
well, I tell you, and we talked about it last week. Good Bo, bad Bo. I think he got bad Bo.
Oh yeah, and he hit his running back in the tail, in the rear end. But how many other time? I mean, and there were some drops by their receivers, Clark. But there were so many times where there was no touch on the football, like no right touch on it. It was just either lasers or missiles. I mean, he was just rattled the whole game. But hey, going back to that comment though, Clark. Yeah, since now that he's sponsored by Milo Sweet Tea and get some NIL, can they find him now like they do? Head coaches in the league. I mean, they don't, right? But I mean, obviously, is that something that should be took into consideration now? That these guys with NIL deals, that if they say something that a head coach would get fined for, should they be held up to the same standard? And like an NFL guy would.
That's a great question.
Absolutely you should.
That's
look, question. If you're going to be able to make that much money, you got to have, there should be some accountability for your actions. I mean, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he won't. I don't think that'll happen, but I think maybe, I don't know. But that's just, I mean, if he's going by that theory, they would have an L in the loss column to Georgia State.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Georgia State could say, well, the same thing. Yeah. It was that terrible call that cost them the football game. Yeah. And hey, if they get that touch, they would have lost 34-17.
That's true.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, the Bo Nix think that offense, that would have just made them click right there. That would have been the spark that just ignited them in the second half for just a big scoring fest against this Georgia defense. What Bo's saying.
I hate to break it to him.
Yeah, that changed the game right there, Bo.
Yeah. Yeah.
God, this close, Bo.
But like I said, that is what losers say.
Yeah, I mean, truly. It is terrible.
If you're blaming the football game
that's what
on stuff
say.
Like that. Yeah, that's what fans say.
That's what we put on message boards. That's for me and you to say. Yeah. Not for the college quarterback to say. Good Lord, man. I tell you, that's funny. That's funny. That definitely just shows. You could tell all game. He was just rattled frustrated.
He was.
I loved it. Loved it.
Oh, man. Let's see. That we did give up a rushing touchdown, which was a little shocking. But, I thought overall our goal line defense looked pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
I think our goal line defense all year has looked really good.
Hell yeah.
So too?
I do, Clark. I do. I think they look really well. Of course, our defensive front is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And then touching on the secondary, if you want to go ahead and start talking about the secondary, you have on there is, I don't know, Keely Ringo, there was one pass Demetrius Robertson called over that Bo Nix did put the ball in a good spot, but Keely was there to make a play if he just goes up and finds the ball. Yeah. I think Keely does a good job of getting himself in position. He's just kind of still getting in there to find the football.
They all do, Adam. And Latavius Brini being another guy, there were quite a few times where, they made, and Bo Nix made a couple of good throws, believe it or not. But we got our guys, our secondary specifically speaking here, are in position,
Yeah. I mean, the secondary would be, I think, the biggest concern on the defense, obviously. And the one thing that, especially Christopher Smith now, we find out what's the extent of the injury on him. What time, how much time is going to be missed? When are we going to get Christopher Smith back by,
Right.
When's Tyke? I mean, he played some Saturday, but when is he going to, be fully 100% to get out there and get plugged in one of those spots? But, and that's Kirby's baby right there, is that position group out there. It's a secondary. So I think they'll continue to improve and still playing good ball, I think. But it would be that would be the only question mark, I think. It's just primarily safety play.
Yeah.
Really, so.
And we're like you said, we got quite a few guys out. So that does not help things. But I tell you, we really did force Auburn to be one-dimensional in this game and really made Bo Nix beat us through the air. And he didn't beat us. But, we stopped the run game. I thought we did a good job holding Tank Bigsby, who is a good running back, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, they obviously, like we said before, did not help themselves, dropping about 20 passes. I don't think they could catch COVID.
I'm telling you.
Standing in a group of 100 COVID patients.
I mean, they did. I mean, you got to give credit to some of the play calls there and some of the routes ran that, I mean, some big plays were there for taking that the ball was dropped, and you can attribute it to either it being from the receivers just dropping the football or for the velocity that Bo Nix had on the pass that might have been appropriate or not appropriate, So I don't know, Clark. It's one of them things that I think we were in some good position, but there was sometimes that we were beat, and thankfully that they couldn't connect on it,
Yeah.
So overall, though, defense, you can't beat it, and that's the thing. For anybody to put points up on this Georgia defense is going to have to be elite quarterback play, and either making something, the quarterback making something with his legs, breaking containment, getting downfield, and receivers getting open, but nobody's going to run the football. Nobody's going to be balanced, have a balanced offensive attack and beat this Georgia team. Yeah. There is no way that anybody, I don't care, there's nobody in the nation who's going to gash Georgia. Gash this front set. Yeah. For a team to put up defensive point or put offensive points on the board is going to be having to throw the football around. And I don't see them doing that. I don't see them being able to get comfortable enough in the pocket and have enough time to get in the rhythm too.
Yeah. And that's one thing I think we've been missing. We've mentioned this in other podcasts, but one thing that just separates this defense from very good defenses in 17, 18, 19, 20 is we got a pass rush now.
Right.
And that's beautiful.
Right.
We can drop 8 in coverage and rush 3 and still get to the quarterback.
Absolutely.
And when you can do that, that just opens up a slew of different blitz packages and just any kind of.
Oh, yeah. So. I mean, how many times have we talked about that? Really, what we're missing is elite defensive line play.
We said that a lot.
Elite defensive line play over the years. But now, hey, it's there.
Yeah.
It might be the best ever in Georgia. I mean, it's the best ever in Georgia football history. But I'm not going to be far-fetched and, saying this. I don't think that could be the best in college football history when it's all said and done. Might be.
You're saying defensive
seven,
line?
The defensive front seven.
Okay.
Let's put it all together. Not just the D-line, but the front seven. Best in college football history when it's all said and done.
It has the potential. I mean, but you look at the numbers. It's really not. You look at the numbers, Adam. Through 5 games, I saw some statistic. I wish I had it, but through 5 games, I think it's total defense. We're up there in the ranks of like 2011 Alabama.
Oh yeah,
and that was a heck of a defense. I think more than I can't remember if this is right or not, but I want to say like all 12 of those guys went on into the NFL.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. I mean,
and we have that same kind of defense now. It's unreal. So
I won't ever get tired talking about it.
No, I won't either.
They are.
I won't either. But
it was wonderful. I mean, just another good game plan, and another just impressive performance.
Yeah,
on the road too.
Sure. Special teams look good too, Adam. Got to shout them out. Shout out to Kieris Jackson. He has done a great job of returning kicks, and boy, it is a lot harder of a job than what it looks.
Yeah.
But we knock on wood, we have not had that ball go through his arms at any point this year.
Right. No. I mean, he's very pure back there, possessing the punt return. So I think a guy that's very smart back there, is not going to do anything just dumb. And put, give the other team a cheap possession right there by muffing the football. So I feel like a guy that, like you said, Clark, at the right time, I think he could break one this year. Absolutely. Looks like he's lined up to do it.
Yeah, he had a good return. His knee was down.
About blocked another punt Saturday.
I'm telling you.
I think it was big Jalen Johnson. Might have been. I could be wrong on that. They came there, and it looked like, seriously, he was about just 2 or 3 inches from just nicking that football. Yeah. Man.
And we've been saying this like crazy, but special teams, man, it means
Oh, it does.
It is so important.
Yes.
To any football team. And I know that from a fan's perspective that you don't really think about special teams. It's kind of an afterthought.
Right.
You really hone in on the offense and defense. But, man, special teams is critical. Any coach in college football is going to tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we take it more seriously or whatever. We take it I'm butchering this.
No, we dial in on it more.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
we make it more of an
emphasis.
primary, an emphasis that, hey, that we're going to practice this more. It's not just, you know, something secondary to the game. It's something that can win or lose football games.
That's very true.
And you could tell it by how Muschamp has got these guys clicking. I think now that he is the special teams guy, and I mean everybody. I think everybody has their own little unit that they work with. And one thing too, you look at Camarda on the kickoffs. One thing I think that's happened in the past couple games is he's done a good job of leaving the ball short of the goal line.
Yep.
And kind of make it appealing for the return guy to say, hey, I'm going to take this thing on out. And our coverage, our kickoff coverage is doing a good job staying disciplined, staying in their lane and getting down there and pinning them back behind the 20 most often with it. So, and then when the other team's offense starts the ball, you know, behind their own 20-yard line, and then with this defense, and you win the battle, and that's what this group does with Kamara, with the defense, everything is we win the field position battle all day. And when you do that, that's a huge part of the game.
That is a great point, Adam. And that's, you know, we've seen it in pretty much any game.
Yes.
We win the position battle.
Yeah.
I mean,
field position battle, absolutely.
Field position battle. They don't get into our territory very often.
No, I mean,
they just don't.
I mean, that's what happened with Arkansas too. I mean, you kept just pinning them deep, and I mean, you know, they come out there. I mean, offenses, when they get the ball in good field position, it gives them a little bit more juice.
Right.
You know, it gives them a little bit more confidence starting the drive. You know, and then I think that's something that this team does a really good job of making a priority. So
yeah. Jake Camarda, still a weapon. And then field goal block.
Real good.
They're still going to get one. I think I said 2 episodes ago that we get one within 3 games. So I think
maybe it'll happen.
I think it has to happen as we play Kentucky. And maybe we'll get us one.
Let's do it, Clark.
Let's do it,
baby. Let's go.
Let's go. I got one more game for that to
yes, sir,
to come to fruition. But all right. Speaking of Kentucky, let's talk a little bit about Kentucky. Golly.
It's a weird year of college football, Clark.
Yeah. Oh, my
They just freaking stroked the Bayou Bengals last week. Beat LSU by 3 touchdowns. Coming into Athens, ranked number 11.
Yes.
It's insane. It's insane.
It is unreal.
It's unreal, man. Kentucky, I mean, we've talked about them before, Clark. They're a really, really good coach football team.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, they've played a couple of, I guess you could say, respectable SEC opponents. I don't know if you really consider Florida and LSU respectable at this point.
Right.
But let's take a look at their schedule if I can get this thing to load.
One thing too, I think they started off in week 2. Their SEC opener was Missouri. At the time, I think we thought Missouri was a better football team than what they're trending, what they're looking like. I think they struggled with North Texas this past week. Got slapped by Tennessee a couple weeks ago. Missouri did so. Maybe not as impressive of a win, just beating Kentucky or beating Missouri barely like Kentucky did.
Yeah.
And then they just barely beat Chattanooga as well. Yeah. But, I mean, the offense, you know, I think it started out good at the beginning of the season. And then the past few games kind of was a lull. And then last Saturday against LSU put some points on the board, which I don't think LSU is a good defense by any means whatsoever. So I tell you, but the thing about Kentucky, what makes them so good and what is Coach Stoops' bread and butter, and that's the defensive side of football court.
Yeah.
And I think they could very well have the second best defense in the SEC behind Georgia. And it'll definitely be the best defensive front that Georgia has faced in overall defense behind Clemson this year. Okay. So I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
Well, I tell you, I mean, I look at Kentucky's schedule, and you know, some people could say the same thing about us, I guess. But ULM 45-10, okay. University of Missouri 35-28, Chattanooga 28-23 victory, South Carolina 16-10.
You're right.
You know, Florida 20-13. I guess that was an impressive win, and then LSU 42-21. But when you look at those teams,
right.
I think this 6-0 record, this number 11 ranking is a little deceiving. in my opinion. I still
so
think they're a good
Clark.
football team. Don't get me wrong. And they certainly can come into Sanford Stadium this Saturday and make a little bit of noise. But
Absolutely.
I don't understand why we're hyping up Kentucky now.
Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, this team could absolutely come in and beat Georgia. I mean, absolutely. If what we've said time and time again, if Georgia's not playing their A game.
Right.
So, I mean, but, Georgia's going to play their A game. There's no doubt with this team. They're going to be dialed in.
Yeah.
I really do think that. So, but this Kentucky team's very well coached, as we said, and I think just discipline off of that. They reflect their coaching, and you see that Coach Stoops is a guy. I mean, Kentucky has been trending upward for years now. I mean, 2018 it was a top 10 matchup in November up in Lexington for the East then too.
I mean, didn't Mark Stoops win the Coach of the Year, or he was a nominee,
Coach of the Year,
SEC,
maybe in 18. I think he was.
Yeah, I want to say.
Yeah, I think he was. But I mean, would have been well deserved and a good defense. I think it's a good veteran team. I think.
They've got a good run game too, from what I've seen offensively.
Yeah,
they've been able to move the ball on the ground. I think that's really their bread and butter offensively speaking.
Yeah, I think they have that receiver, that Wandale. Is it Robinson or Moore? Wandale Moore.
Yeah,
Wandale Moore. Or is it? Look that up, Clark. Might verify that. But he's a transfer from Nebraska, a Kentucky kid. I want to say he. Yes, it is.
Wandale Robinson.
Yeah, it is Robinson. I couldn't remember if it was Moore or Robinson, but Robinson. Yeah, he was a Kentucky kid and went to Nebraska, but then transferred back to Kentucky this year.
Okay,
and I think he's a kid that can make some plays at the receiver position for him. And Chris Rodriguez, their running back's a hard runner. And they got a new quarterback this year, that Will Levis kid from Penn State that transferred in.
And he's been making
big body
plays.
Quarterback. Yeah, he can got a cannon. Probably the best quarterback as far as just natural gifts and talent, arm strength that we've seen at Kentucky in a very long time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think better than the Terry Wilson guy the last time they were a top 10 team we played them. So one thing, though, about Kentucky, Clark, is they like to run the football, too. I think Mark Stoops kind of has the same approach as Kirby does as far as wanting to impose your will on the ground and play good, solid, disciplined defense, too. And one thing that Kentucky's, what they want to do is what, of course, we want them to try to do, and that's run the football. They're not going to be able to do that,
right? And
I do not think they're going to be able to get any yards to the air either. So I like the matchup. I mean, what I'm saying is it's a good matchup for us, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I don't see any way that Kentucky's going to come in and win this football game. Personally, I know a lot of people out there may feel differently about it, but the Dawgs open, listen to this, as a 24.5 favorite over number 11 Kentucky. I mean, does it even surprise you anymore that we're getting so much?
I tell you, this is what it feels like to be these Alabama teams in the past. I mean, it truly is. And what I love about it is I think this team isn't buying into the rat poison. And kind of they got the goal at hand. They're focused on it. And they're ready to go, Clark. Yeah. They're ready to go. So this is just going to be another impressive win on the resume, I believe. And, man, I'm excited about it. It's going to be a fun night in Sanford Stadium. I can tell you that, or afternoon. So
yeah. College Game Day and SEC Nation.
I cannot believe that College Game Day is coming to Athens for the Kentucky game. Yeah. It was just here 2 weeks ago for the Arkansas game. I mean, what kind of world are we living in right now, Clark? This is unreal. And this is for the East, because Kentucky has a cakewalk of a schedule after this. They shouldn't lose a game after this. They could be 11-1.
Yeah, they play Mississippi State
or 12-0.
Yeah,
if they beat up.
That's true. They literally, I mean, truly, they're next. Golly, I didn't even know that.
Mississippi State, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, New Mexico State, Louisville.
Truly.
That's unreal.
They may finish second in.
Yeah, they would be 11-1.
Oh, well, I was
they could go to a New Year's Six bowl. Yeah. Absolutely could.
Golly.
I mean, they're loving it. I guarantee you up in Lexington, those fans are dialed in. They're wanting to make the trip to Athens. They're going to come down. And, I mean, this is the biggest game in their program history. I mean, it was the biggest game in 2018. They said the same thing.
Right.
But this is it, too, because they're undefeated this go-around coming in, too, and have a good chance to continue that. So that's what's scary about it, Clark, is if you lose this game to Kentucky, there may not be a chance of a mulligan as far as going to the SEC championship. And, I mean, God, we're talking about we got to beat Kentucky because they might win out and go to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And just the thought of Kentucky making it to Atlanta is just unreal. But that's how crazy this year college football has been.
Well, like I said, it's not going to happen. I'm done. I am done doubting the Dogs for this regular season.
Everybody has their little Larry Munson pessimism.
That's true. That's true.
Just a little bit.
This is the first game where I'm just going to crush it all. I'm just going to say, you know what? Let's just let the boys play. Let the Dogs eat.
Let them eat, baby.
We're going to be fine.
We're the number one team in the nation.
We need to start acting like it. We got to defend that ranking,
the fans, we as fans, we need to act like the number one fans in the nation.
Yes. Be elite this Saturday. Like I said, I'm not going to be there. Bark a little bit louder for me if you are going, please. Add some energy to that place.
That's right.
You know,
it's going to be loud.
There are a lot of people who don't think that crowds make a difference, but dadgummit, they sure as heck do.
They do.
Especially when you can cause a team to false start even one time, let alone 5.
That's the one thing. I think Kentucky, too, Clark, is a team that thrives being at home in Weston. They have a good environment up there. Their fans are excited, especially now seeing the quality of football they're playing. That's something that they hadn't had up there ever.
Right.
So I think taking them outside of the friendly confines of Kroger Field.
You
know, because people don't go into Kroger Field and come out alive. Kroger Field.
Yeah, that's true. Well, listen to this.
So coming to Athens,
and looking at
their a wake up.
Yeah, for sure. Looking at their schedule, Adam, they have not had a true road game. You can't call South Carolina a road game.
That's not the 2012 Williams-Brice Stadium atmosphere over there, probably.
So they're going to, I just think they're going to crumble. I really do. I think we are going to just dominate this football game for 4
quarters. On the national stage, it'll be beautiful.
Yeah. I think it's going to look an awful lot like Arkansas. Yes. So we'll get
I love it.
Stick around for a score prediction. Oh, it's just good times we're living in. Let's go last week's picks. Talk some general college ball here. And, boy, there's a lot to talk about. We had some spectacular games this past Saturday. Let's start with Alabama A&M. We actually didn't pick this game because we didn't really think it was going to be a game.
Yeah, we didn't think it was going to be a game. Clark, we didn't think it was. But, boy, we were wrong.
Yeah. Alabama. And, Adam, I don't know how much of this you saw, but because y'all were driving back from Auburn.
Driving back.
But I think they don't look like the same Alabama team. I mean, they just did not look like it didn't look like the standard of Alabama football was being played in College Station last night. It didn't look good.
Well, their defense isn't what it used to be. I truly don't think. I think it's trended downhill more and more every year since Kirby has left Tuscaloosa. The past 6 years, it's gone downhill more.
You're talking
about
defense.
The defense, yes.
Yeah.
The defense. Now, the offense has been obviously the standard of college football, but it's funny how it's flipped. But I do not think the caliber of Saban defense and what he would like to see, the talent's not there. Because some of the talent they'd be stacking as on the defense side of the football and their front and their first and second teams, part of that would they be having if Kirby wasn't in Athens and is in Athens.
That's true. That's a great point. I mean, really, I think Kirby is a difference maker in recruiting.
Oh, absolutely.
And now it's starting to actually pay dividends for us.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama, I think they're going to run the table the rest of the way. Finish 11-1. But the beautiful thing about this, Georgia fans, and I know everybody's thought about this, and this is what we got to think about is you only have to beat Alabama one time now. Just beat them in Atlanta, get the monkey off our back, and then you don't have to see them in the playoffs. No. You don't have to see them in Indianapolis if you get there. So,
you know, I know this sounds crazy, and I think a lot would have to happen, like an awful lot would have to happen, but I don't know if you can consider Alabama completely out yet.
No, you're right, Clark.
I mean, because if they lose to a number one ranked Georgia team, close. But then you got, let's say Cincinnati gets beat, and maybe we have a 2-loss Big Ten champ. I don't know. There may be a potential place for Alabama. The College Football Playoff Committee loves them. So,
I mean, the way the season's going right now, Clark, I mean, who knows what could happen?
That's true.
Who knows what could happen? It's just mass pandemonium. The Cincinnati Bearcats are up there. The Iowa Hawkeyes are up there.
Yep.
Everybody and their brothers still got a chance.
Except Clemson.
They don't got a chance. They're just trying to get to the Russell Athletic Bowl down in Tampa. They're just trying to score a touchdown.
Oh, man.
Oh, I love it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you're right. Alabama, in my mind, runs the table as well. And God, think about this. If you're an A&M fan, It's like we finally got over the hump. We beat the big bad Bama.
But then reality sets in that you lost to Mississippi State last week and Arkansas the week before.
Oh man,
tough times.
Yeah,
I guess all that oil money that old Jimbo has. They wanted to beat Bama. I think he said in Houston at a Booster Club meeting in the offseason he was going to beat Nick Saban before Nick was gone from Alabama. So he's
a man of his word. So,
but they still have 2 losses still.
Yeah.
And that's a weird group. They're cold over. That's a weird group. A&M fans.
They are. I still want to go to a game over there. I think it'd be fun. I'm glad we're not playing them this year, but you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. Let's move on. Oklahoma versus Texas. Shout out to Chris Johnson. By the way, he said that I was supposed to shout him out. He made me shout him out because he correctly predicted that we would win by 24 points, beat Auburn. So there you go, Chris. Good job.
Good job.
Chris also mentioned about this game, Oklahoma, Texas. It shouldn't be the Red River Rivalry. It should be always referenced as the Red River Shootout because it just is. It is a shootout every time these teams meet.
It is crazy that every game looks the same.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah. And Texas, man, they got out to a quick start. I mean,
28-7. They were up by 21 points.
And just crumbled, man. And Oklahoma, they got it together somehow. And
that's just lackadaisical football. That's just undisciplined football. When you can't play defense, Clark, my God, stuff like that. Big 12 football ticks me off more than anything. You don't like culture. I hate it when you have to rely. You're sitting there and you just know your defense. As a fan, you're sitting there. You just know your defense isn't gonna stop anybody.
Yeah, it's just a helpless feeling.
It's a helpless. You're just sitting up there in the stands like this. Like, all right, they're gonna score. Let's surrender. Let's just calculate how much time's on the clock. And does our offense got enough time to come down there and march down the field? Man, thank the Lord we don't have that problem in Athens.
I couldn't deal with it.
God, that would make me sick if I was a fan of one of those teams.
Yeah.
And it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
That takes years off your life.
Yes, sir.
I think I took Texas. I was wrong about that. You took Oklahoma.
I took Oklahoma.
There you go. All right. Number 13, Arkansas at number 17, Ole Miss. Of course, those ratings have changed.
Shootouts.
Yeah, speaking of shootouts, my gosh, 52-51, Ole Miss squeaks it out after Arkansas goes for 2, doesn't quite get in.
I love the call by Sam Pittman there. When you're on the road like that, go ahead, go for the win. You know, just go ahead, go for the win right there. I think it was a good play call, just didn't execute it, you know, and heck of a game. Heck of a game. So it was fun to watch. Watched a little bit of it. So
did you see that Lane Kiffin got a big old shipment of popcorn? He had Orville Redenbacher popcorn and all these kernels just stacked. All these Alabama fans sent it to him after.
Oh, that's hilarious.
They beat Ole Miss. You didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Man,
that is great.
Classic.
That is classic.
Oh man. But anyway, all right, that game,
52-51. 52-51
shootout.
Ole Miss.
And then we got Penn State at Iowa.
That's a pillow fight.
I don't know. That was a pretty good game.
I didn't see it all, but either one of those teams, I think, is severely overrated. And whoever, and mark my words right now, whichever might look like a fool after this, but mark my words on this show right now that either one of those teams, well, Iowa's going to meet them in the Big Ten championship, but Penn State will get boat raced by Ohio State, and then Iowa will get boat raced by Ohio State in the Big Ten championship.
Wow, I don't know, Adam. I think Iowa's defense pretty daggone stout, but
that's true. That's true.
But I don't know.
I just don't, man. I'm just not in on Iowa being a top. I
definitely don't think they're
now.
No, I don't think they're the number 2 team in the nation. But then again,
who else would be? You're right. You're right. But I don't know. I still think Ohio State wins that league and sneaks back into the playoff conversation. Honestly, I really.
Well, that would be
I really do.
That would be something else if that happened. But it could. Anything can happen in college football. So that puts Penn State 1 loss, and then Iowa still undefeated. Man, they're rolling up there. All right. LSU at Kentucky. Talked a little bit about this game. LSU. Look, I think Coach O is a ticking time bomb.
Oh, he's done. He's done. Woo. Not only just on the field performance, but off the field antics too. I mean, I think he threatened to kill a fan on the Collins show. You can't do that, Clark.
Hey, we haven't done that.
No, we
have not threatened to kill anyone.
But in the LSU Collins show, Coach O talked about some fishing pond that he wanted to meet the old boy at, Clark. I said, you can't do that as the head coach of an institution.
And I don't know if it was you or my good friend Katie Gaulden out there, who isn't a big LSU fan, that was saying that he just has a big head now because he won that 2019 championship, and he thinks he can just get away with any of these antics.
Anything.
Just because he,
Oh, he's done. So. He is. I'm telling you, Clark, he is done. I think the team's quit on him. You can see that Saturday night. I mean,
it's just crazy to think, like 2 years ago, they're one of the best college football teams ever.
Yeah.
And you resort to this being 3-3 losing to Kentucky.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's unreal.
That's amazing. It is unbelievable.
Man.
That's just the beauty of the sport, though. You never know.
You never know. Adam, the game of the week last week. Arkansas Monticello Boll Weevils at Northwestern Oklahoma State. Do you have a final on that one?
It was 43-24, I believe. Northwestern Oklahoma State. The Rangers, they went 0-6 now. They lost. I got you. Yeah. So Arkansas Monticello, the Boll Weevils beat Northwestern Oklahoma State. Clark, I think we both picked this incorrectly, just for the simple fact is we went ahead and we made the statement and we determined we do not like Boll Weevils, so we went with the Rangers. Yeah, but it didn't.
Well, the Rangers got eaten alive, just like the Cotton.
Yeah. You're right. It might have been a moral win. They hung around. I mean, I think they got beat 64-17 the week before, so to come back and only lose 43-24 might have been a moral win.
Well, they put some points on the board
in Oklahoma. So they put some points on the board, but they're 0-6, and we missed that one.
Yeah.
Playing off our emotion. You can't pick off emotion.
You can't. So that gives us a new slate of games for this week. There's really just not much to choose from. Good quality opponents. And some of y'all, I'm sure, are probably tired of listening to the same old teams getting picked. But truly, there's nothing better out there.
That's right.
You can't beat SEC ball. Right. So we're going to go with, let's start off with Auburn at Arkansas. 12 o'clock, CBS kickoff. What do you like here, Adam?
Auburn and Arkansas. Oh man, Clark, I tell you, I think Arkansas gets it done at home in Fayetteville. I honestly think if it would have been in Auburn, that Auburn would have won this one. But I'm gonna go with Arkansas. Okay. I'm gonna go with Arkansas.
Yeah. I'm there with you. I think to be honest with you, Arkansas. I think still a good football team. That's tough to say, but I think we just exposed them. Yeah. And I think they got their dose of that, and now they're, I guess, more or less looking forward and really playing for a big bowl game.
That's right.
They still got that in contention. So, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, Clark. One thing I was going to say is, even though they've lost two, I think they're still all bought in. Yeah. They're bought in. They love Coach Pittman, and they believe where they're going, and it's not a team that just loses two and I think going to come just unglued, right? And the locker room's gone or anything like that. I do not think that's Arkansas's in that category whatsoever. Yeah. So.
It should be interesting to see how Auburn bounces back.
Yeah.
Whether or not Arkansas's defense is going to get good bow or bad bow. Who knows?
That's right.
So that'll be an interesting little game here.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Oklahoma State at Texas. I'll be honest with you. I've not watched a single snap of Oklahoma State football this year.
They're number 12 in the nation.
They're number 12. Wow. I couldn't tell you a thing about this matchup. I'm going to go with Texas. It's at home. Yeah. 12 o'clock. Yeah. Bevo. Yeah. Bevo and what's their running back's name? I'll tell you the running back. I don't know. They started the number 5. I think it's something Robinson maybe. I want to say he had a pretty good game the other day against Oklahoma. I think he had something like 200 rushing yards or something. Nice. So I'm going to take Texas.
All right, I'm going to go with you, Clark. I'm going to take Texas as well. I think they're going to bounce back. And I don't know how good Oklahoma State is, but I'm going to go with Texas too.
All right.
Go ahead.
Another SEC matchup at 12. All these, we got a bunch of.
Finally, LSU gets a freaking 11 a.m. Central Time. I guess when I went on my rant the other week that the SEC office listened to our podcast and said, look, this guy over there in Georgia, he's right about LSU. And we need to change that. Yeah. So look, the people spoke up and they listened.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Florida had LSU
go with
12 o'clock ESPN. I'm going to take Florida in this. I don't think LSU is in the right mindset to win this kind of a football game. I don't think Florida's a bad team. I don't think they're a very good team, but I think they go in. Emory Jones lights it up.
Yeah, I think so too, Clark. I don't think Florida's necessarily great. I think these are two teams that are kind of struggling right now to find who they are. And I think, this is Florida's last game from going in the bye week and then getting to their Super Bowl. And that's ruining Georgia's season, in Jacksonville. That's what Dan Mullen's thinking about. But LSU, I think, is in complete shambles. I think Coach O has lost that locker room. And I think Florida maybe – wanting to do some stuff, thinking about getting taken back from what happened last season. Trying to get some revenge for that. So and Florida when LSU beat them there.
Yeah.
So
all right, next game, Ole Miss at Tennessee, and this is a very interesting matchup in my opinion. I think you got two higher powered offenses teeing it up at 7:30 in Knoxville. SEC Network. This ought to be an interesting little game here.
Oh, yeah.
So, Adam, who do you like in this matchup, the Rebels versus the Vols?
Oh, man, Clark. Oh, man. I think I'm going to go with Ole Miss. Clark. I think what's interesting is I believe these offenses are both the same style. Same type of offense that moves very fast. I think two of the fastest offenses in the nation. I think Jeff Levy, the offense coordinator at Ole Miss, was a UCF guy, kind of around where Heupel was too. So I think there's some intertwining there in the previous coaching staff. Same type of philosophy that Lane Kiffin runs, and I think it'll be the shortest game in college football history.
Shortest, as in like just time wise?
Time wise. Well, I don't know. I guess it'd be the longest, actually, is what I meant to say. They're going to be throwing the ball around a lot and going fast, so I don't know.
Oh, man. Yeah. It's going to be, I guarantee that'll be a shootout.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be.
But, who are you taking?
I'm going with Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
I'm going with Ole Miss. I think Tennessee's going to be good. I think it's going to be a shootout.
Okay.
Dang. I kind of want to pick Tennessee in Knoxville.
Take Tennessee.
I'm going to go with Tennessee. I'm going to go with Tennessee.
I'm taking Tennessee, too.
All right, there we go. Yeah.
Just night game in Knoxville is a tough place to play. I think they're believing in Heupel in that system.
They've
got it going.
Yeah, they're getting some energy level up. So you're right, Clark. You're right. Let's go with Tennessee.
And really, you might see a ranked Tennessee team if they beat Ole Miss.
That would just cap off the craziness of the year, wouldn't it?
I'm telling you. Who
Crazy.
would have thought? Who would have thought?
Man. Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, which brings us to the game of the week. So this week, we kind of had to scramble to get a team.
Yeah, we did. Well, what part of the country we're going to then, Clark?
I have no idea. I don't know where either one of these teams are located.
In Illinois.
Okay.
Illinois.
How'd you know that?
I just
research.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, I just thought Wheaton College, Illinois.
Illinois, boom.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think that's right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wheaton College Thunder at Carroll University Pioneers. So we got the Thunder versus the Pioneers.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
And do we not? We don't know. We don't know the record either one of these teams, right? So we have no clue.
We have no clue. Idea.
Yeah. I don't know, Clark. Shoot. I tell you, I think I'm going to go with Wheaton.
Okay.
I think I like Wheaton. Kind of reminds me of Wheaties.
All right.
So I think they're a good, healthy, stout team.
Okay.
I think they got some guys that really can run the ball. I think they got a good, strong ground game. Might run a little bit of a flex bone offense every now and then, kind of triple option.
Okay. All right.
Maybe.
Is that where Paul Johnson's coaching right now?
Could be. So that's what I'm going to go. I think the Thunder. That means they pound the ball.
All right, the Wheaton College Thunder. They're going to rumble. They're going to Thunder.
Let's say I don't know how we'll ever figure out the statistics, but I'm going to add something else to this.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to say they're going to rush. They're going to run for over 200 yards on Carroll University.
Oh my gosh! A lot of teams don't rush for 200 yards anymore.
I think Wheaton will.
I
think Wheaton will. They're going to establish a good ground game.
Wow.
And just run all over Carroll University.
Dang.
That's what I'm going with. Give me Wheaton. Give me the Wheaton Thunder.
The Wheaton Thunder for the win.
By 3 touchdowns.
Golly, not only
200 plus yards on the ground.
Oh, man. All right, I'm going to go with Wheaton, too. And the only reason, according to Wikipedia, what a reliable source of information.
Oh, yeah, always good.
is described as one of America's foremost Christian institutions. Wow. Look, I don't know how many listeners know this. We love the Lord. We're not ashamed to say that, even on this podcast. Love Jesus Christ. And that's the only reason I'm going to go with the week.
All right, there we go.
Because they're a good Christian institution.
There we go.
They probably break out into their Bible groups and probably just really dive into the Word. And you got to love that. You got to respect that.
That's right.
So I don't know how much their football team does that, but I'm going with Wheaton.
There we go. All right, go with Wheaton. All right, both of us. Rhyming Wheaton.
Thunder roll.
Awesome.
Which leads us to the game of the week, the ultimate game of the week, truly, because there's just really no other better matchup in the nation. Right. Georgia, number 1 versus number 11, Kentucky. Adam, give me a score prediction. I'm going to give you mine, and then let's do a last bar.
Last bar. All right, I'm going to go. I've been thinking about this, Clark.
All right.
Give me the Dogs 27-0.
Whoa, all right.
27-0. I think we're going to shut them out.
Okay, so you think they're going to hold us under 30?
Yes, I do.
Okay, that's fair.
I think potentially could be.
All right,
could be. Maybe, I hope I'm wrong. I'm going to go 27-0.
27-0, another shutout.
Yep.
That would make 3 shutouts on the year.
Yep.
I love that.
That's what I'm going to go with.
I hope that is the case. I'm going to go 31-7.
Nah.
I think we put up 30 just barely.
Yep.
And I think they do get a rushing touchdown. I think they're going to move the ball. But I tell you, Adam, I just don't think it's going to look any different than the games we have played up to this point. There's nothing that makes me believe in this Kentucky team enough to come into Athens and beat us, A, but B, to put up more than 7 points. I just don't see it.
No, it's not going to happen, Clark.
So,
not going to happen. Not going to happen.
31-7.
31-7, baby.
Look it, Adam. Woo. What you got for
Clark, I'm going to tell you this right now. Older Georgia fans know this. Back in 1977, Georgia played Kentucky. All right. Prince Charles from old England came on over across the pond to come to this game.
Wow.
Probably had no clue what was going on when he was watching the game.
Just a good diplomatic excursion.
Some just good relations there. So probably thought he was going to go watch soccer when they told him they was going to a college football game. So in 1977, they rolled out the red carpet in Sanford Stadium for Prince Charles to come up there, and it was embarrassing.
Wow.
Kentucky came into Athens and won like 33-0.
Good gracious.
So I'm going to tell you one thing, Clark. Prince Charles ain't coming to this football game. So it is not going to be a repeat of 1977.
I hope not.
It is not going to be a repeat of 1977. Georgia is going to roll, people. The nation just every week gets put on notice more and more that this team is for real. They're heads and shoulders the best team in the nation. 27-0. Dogs on top. Be loud this week. Be there early. Just get excited. Go get you some new Georgia gear for this game.
Yeah.
Go get fired up about it.
Order some for Peach State Pride.
Peach State Pride.
Yes.
Get you a hat. Get you a collar shirt and get fired up. Hey, you can all your energy can be exerted in this game because guess what? We got to buy after this, so everybody can rejuvenate.
That's right.
Recoup a little bit.
You got to let it out this week.
Let it out. Want everybody just sucking wind at the end of this game. I don't care if you're at home or if you're in that stadium. You don't need to have a voice left. You need to be carried out of the stadium because you just can't breathe anymore.
Oh man!
All right, so go Dogs, baby.
Go Dogs.